Poppers. Power's out. We're under a wind advisory and we're expecting snow and frozen. All right. Let's go, Poppers. This is what we prep for. Okay, hang on, babies. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. I see you. Okay. There we go. Sorry, didn't mean to blind you, Loki. Hi, Freya. Yeah, she's in there somewhere. All right, Freya, you ready to get going? Got my headlamp. It is a little cold in here. Let's see, power's been out. Okay, it's 53 degrees. Power's been out for a couple hours. And pardon the mess. Okay, it is 39. All right, let's get rock and rolling, baby girl. Okay, first things first. Alright. Yes, smell disco lights. But it works. Now Loki can see. I'll turn my headlamp off. Not get a headache. And buggers. I know, I'm working on it, baby. I'm working on it. Step 2. Now, mine is full of water already because, I set it up the night before so that it just automatically brews in the morning and is ready when I wake up. Oh, success. Okay, I know the kitty's very scary. All right, I'm just gonna get this brewed off the generator, and then, oh my gosh, it's so embarrassing to have such a mess. But I'm gonna get this brewed off the generator while I get the fire started, and then we can put a pot on the stove, the wood stove. All right, let me get this cleaned up. Pull everything away from the wood stove. Put the candles off. These are scented candles, not for light purposes. And I always keep a small stack set up, ready to light. That way, just like this, we're in the middle of a windstorm, snow is coming, and I'm not gonna have to sit there and fiddle around with getting kindling prepared or even like just getting stuff inside. This is all set up, paper and kindling, and ready to go. next thing to talk about is the fridge and freezer. Now, this is too big. Well, this could be plugged into my generator, but it would use power faster than I want it to use. So I prefer to not plug in the fridge freezer. I have lots of my stuff, I can it. I prefer to have it shelf stable. However, I do keep the freezer packed, and that is actually good because a full freezer will stay cold longer than an empty or a half empty freezer. And so I found, and through research and stuff, this will actually stay frozen probably 48 hours before I need to pull stuff out and figure out what to do with it. Now, luckily, we are going to be hitting temperatures in the 20s over the next, I think, 4 or 5 days. So, of course, the first option, if we still don't have power, is just put stuff in coolers outside. Now, we do have coyotes, cougars, and bears around here, so I will put it on my rooftop, just kind of as an added measure. Oh, there goes the fire, little snap. So I am not going to open my freezer up at all. Now, I do have to feed the babies, all the babies, breakfast and their canned food, because they always get some canned food or raw food. I'm feeding them canned today. It's coming out of the fridge. So I'm making a plan in my head. I'm only going to open this for the quickest time. I already know exactly where those items are, and I know exactly what I'm going to get out. So I'm going to open this once today, this morning, and then I'm going to open it once this evening, which will be for the animal dinners and my dinner. And I may not even open it up for my dinner. I may look at my stash and see what I can just cook on the wood stove. So that's the other thing, is you want to make this very quick and very efficient, because this too will last for probably 20 hours. And I'm probably a little on the risky side, but I would say a lot of that I would still eat. Oh my goodness. Sorry, I'm being distracted by stuff being blown across my backyard. All right, so, Loki, you ready for some breakfast, honey? 1, 2, 3. Here we go. This and this, and close it up. All right, good job, babies. All right, let's get your breakfast going. All right, my pre-stacked fire has caught. We're doing good. So I'm gonna get this closed up. And we already went up 1 degree. And you can see, normally I have my furnace set to 65, so we don't need to get far. Just enough to keep us warm. So I'm gonna get this closed up so we can draft it down. And coffee's almost ready. All right, well, we're getting some daylight and the coffee's made. However, I am not going to wash out my coffee cup. Here's another area. Water. Now, I am fortunate enough to be on a community well system that has a very large reservoir, and that reservoir is uphill from me. That means I still am gravity-fed water. However, the water pressure goes down, and there's a limited supply of water in that reservoir, and it's for the entire hillside. So I also try to conserve my water as much as possible. So instead of rinsing this and washing my coffee mug, I'm just gonna use it dirty as is today. All right, all the babies are fed, coffee's brewed, fire started. So everything inside here is good. We are almost at sunrise. We're past dawn, but not quite sunrise. So in a few minutes here, I will turn this lamp off, conserve my generator power. It's a solar generator. I can recharge it. I have solar panels, but we are expecting snow. so it's not going to be the best scenario. And of course, this is worst case scenario here. My primary backup plan is to charge it off my truck or take it to the RV property, which still has power. I can look on the internet, it still has power. And just plug it in the wall, literally plug it in the wall and recharge it there. So I have something overnight. However, yeah, my truck broke down yesterday. Oh, it's a perfect storm. So, but this is good. This is what I prepared for, and this is just testing us in a very actually gentle, easy way. You know, power out for a day or two and temperatures in the 20s and no vehicle. It's actually just given me a good test to see where I need to strengthen up some of my processes or some of my preparedness. And yeah, so I'm gonna get a little coffee in me and we're gonna go take a little walk around the property and get the chickies going. Hot coffee. Oh my gosh. So the sideways wind has made my entire front porch soaking wet. I need to go do a fence check before the dogs come out. Oh my gosh. My shoes are wet inside. I gotta get the chickies up. All right. And I can see the power lines across the street are up. All right, let's get checking on the chickies. Here we go. All right. Fence line is up. Fence line is up. Oh my gosh. Like, this is how much rain. It's not even draining. Okay, that little fence is fine. That's not anybody. We gotta get the chickies opened up, although they are not gonna like this weather. Hi, babies. I know, it's so scary. Oh. Fudge, Batman. Whoa. All right, good morning, girls. All right. The roof is still good up there. I was gonna go cut more firewood. Oh my gosh. Everything is flooded. All right, that's what I was worried about. I got one spot down here where the fence has fallen. I gotta get down there and get that taken care of before the puppers get out. All right, everybody settled in. Really bad lighting here. I've got the chickies checked out. Their coop is still good. No wind or rain issues in there. And I've got my coffee going. We're all just kind of settling in. I planned on doing some quilting today. I have 2 projects going on, but I'm not going to use my generator for the sewing machine and the iron. I am going to switch gears and just kind of get a relaxing day, and I am going to do a bunch of my knitting. So I also have this Afghan project started. You knit these squares, kind of hard to see, and because I'm using self-changing yarn or variegated, it creates these cool little stripes. So we're just going to switch gears and relax and do our knitting today instead of sewing on our quilts. All right, well, I decided to take advantage of the daylight and knowing that my hot water tank has hot water in it. So I just took a shower. I also know that this is going to be the hottest that the house will be during the day. So I am planning ahead in the event that we're still going to be without power for a couple days. And so I'm aware and planning out how I'm going to not only be using my water, but how I'm going to be using my hot water. So although I have a propane water heater, in theory, that should continuously work as long as I have propane. But a couple things. One, the community well is on a gravity feed, and if the reservoir tank runs low, we could have issues of water running. The other thing is we have had super high wind gusts, and although I have made sure that my water tank, which is actually on the outside of my house, is protected, in theory the wind could blow out my pilot light, and that pilot light would not be able to relight unless I went out there and manually lit it, or we have electricity. So I'm just being aware. I'm just being very aware and planning on how I'm using my hot water. And in addition to that, I do have 6-gallon potable water containers, but they are outside. So because we're hitting freezing water or freezing temperatures, you don't want to fill up your water containers full because of course frozen water expands. So I only have about 5 gallons in each of my 6-gallon water containers. So again, I'm just kind of planning on my hot water usage. I have a 40-gallon hot water tank. So, you know, if I take a couple quick showers, I should be good for a few days. And then I have potable water stored outside if the well reservoir runs out during this time frame. So I'm just being very aware of how I am using, conserving, and planning out my water usage, both hot and stored potable. All right, so while I also have the stove at its hottest at this time of day and sufficient daylight to still see what's going on in the house, I'm going to prepare my meal of the day. And I knew that we were gonna have some cold weather, and so I did plan ahead, and I made a huge batch of chicken enchiladas from all of my canned chicken, enchilada sauce, salsa, and that good stuff. Peppers, pickled peppers, and everything. So we are getting at the point where the fridge may not have much chill left in it, but I'm still going to be very aware and cautious of how long I'm opening it and closing it. So in my mind, I already have what I'm going to get and where it's at. And then since I have enchiladas, I have cast iron that would be great to cook on the stove with. But I'm thinking instead of getting a pan dirty and worrying about water or things like that, I'm actually just gonna wrap it in aluminum foil and place it on top. Now, I could put it inside and it would heat faster, of course, but I'm not in a hurry to eat at this point, and so I figure I have already boiled water for tea and stuff on top, so I know that the top is pretty hot. So I am going to get my chicken enchilada out for dinner, wrap it in some foil, and just get that warming up on the top of my wood stove. Okay, and these are actually very cold still, so I'm happy. I'm pretty sure. No, that's not for Boki. No, not for Loki. All right. And all right, I'm gonna see if I can load these up with the fork that I'll eat them with later. Just again to plan out my water usage and kind of try to conserve everything as much as possible here. Be careful not to scrape my non-stick with metal. Alright, I got 2 halves here. That should be good. Just create kind of like an envelope and boat so some of the steam can come out the sides a little bit, but I'm not gonna leak any sauce on top of my wood stove. All right, yeah, this baby's kicking out lots of heat. We're just gonna get this going, and we'll be back later for dinner. All right, we're losing light, and I got carried away with knitting. Yeah. It's been on here about an hour, super hot. Kind of put a little insulating layer just in case. I have no idea why, it just seemed right. All right. I'm actually gonna just put this on the plate like this. Dollop of sour cream. Good to go for dinner. So I do have the cast iron pans that I have practiced a little bit of cooking on the wood stove. And so that is always an option that I'm prepared to do. But this one I had made up, super easy to just throw in foil and put on the stove. So this will be a super easy dinner for today. Water warming up here. My mess. Not using water today, doing my best. All right, well, got the generator running. Or on. It's solar, so it's safe to have inside, don't worry. Because I'm charging the laptop, charging the phone, and just kind of getting things situated. The good news is I have the truck back, so as crazy as that sounds, it just feels very comfortable and comforting in case of an emergency, really. And I think the puppers and I are gonna just snuggle in bed here pretty soon. It's only like, oh my gosh, 7. But I mean, it's dark and wet and not much else to do. So I did have the Wi-Fi turned on for a little bit today, so I downloaded some movies. We're just gonna get the phone 100% charged and crawl in bed and watch a couple movies or something. Yeah. So hopefully in all of this, I didn't specifically teach you something, but I got you thinking and questioning what you could do to have things set up for your preparedness in case of a storm like this, in case of a vehicle breaking down. You know, there's all sorts of things that can happen and all reasons why you would want to be prepared, and have you thinking about what would you do in different situations, and just making sure you have systems and processes in place so that you can still live comfortably and take care of yourself, your family, your animals, and get through the day as comfortable as possible. So hopefully you do something just for your health of it. We'll see you later. Bye.